Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Legacy CNC project video. Now, if you like to build furniture or are trying to find CNCs that produce high-end furniture, this video might be for you. We're picking up on the next process for the floating side table. We did the tabletop in the last video. Today we're going to be focusing on the rails, the side rails and the center rails that give the tabletop a really unique effect. So let's jump on over to the shop and walk through how John produced those side rails for this table. In total, we're going to be making 4 rails to connect all the components together for this table. And each rail is going to be produced on the horizontal workstation, and 2 of them will need to receive a second process in the vertical workstation. The hold down fixture we're using the T-slot table with Legacy's low pro clamps that makes it easy to align the part either along the length or width of the machine. It's also very simple to set up for different part sizes and clamps the part from the side, pushing at a downward slope, helping ensure the parts don't come loose during the machining process. If you wish to upgrade your T-slot table to the next level, you can get your very own set of low pro clamps by contacting Legacy Woodworking Machinery. The first 2 rails I'm going to call the center rails. These are the ones that are going to be connecting directly to the tabletop surface, but they're also going to be mostly hidden when everything is assembled. These are being nested out of a single blank, and John, the one who designed and built the entire table, made the blank oversized so he had plenty of clearance to cut out the shapes of these center rails. The cutter that's going to be used multiple times throughout this video is the 1/4 inch down spiral cutter from Magnate. And here are the cutting parameters that John used. I like to point out here that it's moving in a conventional cut direction. Because there are no exposed edges, this helps reduce any tear out that may happen throughout the cutout process. Because the material is thick enough, we could also get away without using 3D tabs to hold the part in place during the final pass. Let's move on to the side rails. John used the low pro clamps again to hold these in place, except here he decided to orient the part along the length of the machine instead of along the width. That just comes down to preference. The side rails are an interesting component. These parts are double-sided, and we'll need to move it to a vertical workstation after we're done cutting them here on the horizontal table. These countersunk and drilled holes are to fasten the center rails while the glue dries. Again, the 1/4 inch down spiral does the countersinking, while we use the 1/8 inch drill bit to drill all the way through the part to give us a pilot hole for screws. When flipping to side number 2, John simply marked the table where he wanted the corner to line up, and he doesn't have to be super accurate with this process because the blank is cut extra long and the CNC is going to be trimming everything to length. The same 1/4 inch down spiral again is used to pocket mortises where the center rails will connect to the side rails. Afterwards, the perfect length is not only made with the CNC, but the exact curve that matches the arched legs is cut on both ends. As mentioned earlier, this part also receives a precise drilling procedure on the ends of the vertical workstation that is integrated with the Maverick CNC. Before this, John quickly added radiused edges with a trim router. Unfortunately, I don't have footage to show how the part was mounted in the vertical workstation. Normally on a sloped surface like this, we would need to use a center drill to prevent the drilling process from wandering. But this worked perfectly without it. Now with all the rails produced, we were ready for a sub-assembly that connects all the rails together and to the tabletop. The precision of the Legacy CNC made this step accurate and fast. Making sure the curved ends are facing in the right direction to begin with, the ends of the center rails are the tenons that plug directly into the side rail mortises. Instead of just clamping while the glue dries, John wanted to have accents along the face of each side rail. These pre-drilled accent holes were used to add screws and then filled with mahogany plugs to match the tabletop. Now John could take the entire rail assembly and mount it to the bottom of the tabletop. Using the same technique, he treated the top faces of the center rails as tenons. And this is pretty clever. The center rails are being hidden behind the side rails to help sell the effect that the tabletop is floating. Again, we can see how this project is going to turn out pretty sweet. Now, if you want to take a guess, we got quoted from a gallery owner if they were to sell this table in their gallery. Take a whack at how much they would sell this table for in that gallery. Leave those comments and ideas and guesses right down below. Now, this next part may not be for you, But we do have project plans available on Legacy's website at legacywoodworking.com/projects. And we'll leave the link in the video description below. But there on the website, you'll be able to find everything that's available for projects right now, and we'll continue adding to that. But we also have a full calendar schedule of upcoming hands-on workshops where you can register and come to our Legacy facility to build CNC projects with the Legacy team. The person that gives the closest value of what the table is worth in the comments below, by the end of these project videos, will provide you a 25% discount off of your next project plan purchase. In the next video, we're going to be producing the arched legs, and we're going to be doing that in the turning center, so stay tuned for that video. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in that next video.